And that starts our show. Hello, everyone, and welcome into B&T Sports Talk. We're over here talking about nonsense, but having fun while doing it. Thank you for joining us this evening. It is Sunday night, and that means it's time to get into all the wonderful, wonderful happenings this week in sports. I'm your boy T, and next to me is your boy B, back from a some time out in
Woo!
Hawaii as he was getting his he was balling. He was out there balling.
I don't know about
Ball-
balling. More like, yeah, I wasn't at my best, to say the least.
That's all right, man. Hey, look. Hey, you doing better than me, man.
Yeah,
If I tried to do it, I'd probably wake up the next morning with, well, I wouldn't be able to get out of bed. But
yeah.
yeah, so he's so we got your boy back. We're ready to jump into it and get into this week in sports, and a lot of stuff happened. So we got a really good show for you guys. If it's your first time listening to us, go ahead and hit that subscription button. Go ahead and subscribe. Do it now. Do it now. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that notification button. We appreciate it. And of course, as always, jump into the chat. We're very interactive with any and everybody that gets in our chat. So if you got something you want to say, you want to get something off your chest, this is the place to do it. We will try not to call you stupid. We'll try. Can't promise, but we'll try. But anyway, B, man, how you feeling? How you doing, man? Welcome back.
I'm I'm good, man. It's good to be back. Nice and cold Bay Area compared to nice, warm, clear blue skies, clear blue ocean water.
Uh,
But Ellie Dominguez celebrating a big birthday today, 40 years old. So from B&T, we want to wish you a very happy birthday, another
Happy birthday.
milestone. Can't wait for you to get that prostate checked. Once you hit 40, man, first thing you got to do is
Whoa.
go get that thing put up your butt.
Whoa, whoa,
Have the
whoa.
doctor check you out. So
That
looking
that
forward to
that
something that when you turn 40.
that took quite the left turn there, folks.
Hey man, it's true though. It's
Yeah, I'm
true. So
turning
all
I'm
happens when
turning
you hit
40
40.
in 5 months, man.
Hey man, you better start making your doctor's
Hey,
appointment soon,
no,
sir.
no, no. As long as the doctor's name isn't Mr. Howard, I'll be okay. All right, let's move on. So,
People, that's flying over people's heads
I'm
right
sorry.
now.
Oh man. All
Oh
right. Well,
shit!
as you can see, we're
Oh
having a good
shit!
time. So let's jump into some of the wonderful happenings in sports before we get too far off of the subject here. But we're gonna start with my I can't even say Oakland. Why do I keep doing that? Oakland
Wow,
Raiders. I do that all the time.
Oakland.
Las Vegas Raiders. You know, what was this? I guess I'll start there. Last week, the Raiders came out and scored a donut, meaning nothing. They lost to the Vikings 0-3. And if you had to guess how many points they were going to put up in the next game, you would have probably guessed wrong. They put up 63 points. What? I mean, the Raiders decided to take their entire season's worth of touchdowns and combine it into one game, and it got them to win. The fact that the Chargers scored 21 is neither here nor there. That game was way over by almost the first quarter. Kudos to the Raiders for coming in and really putting they really put the foot on the gas pedal on the defensive end of into the field, and they got it done. So they got in there, they got turnovers right away. They scored on possessions in the red zone. They had some big plays. O'Connell was playing out of his mind.
There it
Jacoby
was.
Myers had an incredible game. Justin Herbert wasn't, he wasn't there. But all said and done, this game was so bad. How bad was it, B?
This shit was terrible.
It was so bad that they fired their coach and general manager. That's how bad this game was. It was so bad.
they they told them don't get on the team plane, catch your own flight
Yeah,
home,
it
pretty much. In
was
a
it was so bad. It
nutshell.
was very bad. So, but hey, you know what? I've been happy with this team since the Antonio Pierce has taken over. I think they've at least been playing with some grit. They've been in most of the games that they've played since, and I just want to see them be competitive. They do not have a chance to make the playoffs at this point, but at least they're showing some heart. And I'm not watching the Patriots West like we saw under McDaniels, which was just a crap show. So yeah, man. Did you get a chance to catch any of this game, or I'm sure you saw the score?
I saw the score. I watched the highlights. There's just one clear cut thing. The Los Angeles Chargers are nothing without Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
That offense was so lethargic the entire game. It carried over to the defensive side of things. I think when they lost their quarterback for the rest of the year, they threw that towel in really, really quick here. Honestly, it's hard to fathom how the Raiders even found a way to score 63 points after not even getting a field
I
goal the last game. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know,
Like,
man.
you want night and day transformation, and this isn't coming where they had to think about it for 6 days. They literally scored 0 points on Sunday and came back right around Thursday, decided to hang up a 63 burner on the Chargers here. So
Yeah,
look, the Raiders. I said this before. Once they got their interim head coach, it was all about playing for pride and seeing how you could carry something over the next season here, because there was just a lot
absolutely.
of black clouds hanging over the Raiders. Now with this win and the way they've been playing, you see Devontae Adams was a clear example. He was getting hypey on the bench, pretty
Yeah,
much, kind of like he was channeling his inner Marshawn Lynch um, years ago. That's what you want to see in a season where it just wasn't going your way from the start there. So the Raiders, look, they have to match 63 points next week, but
no, I don't know. I don't know about
but
that.
but this is good for them. This is absolutely good for
Absolutely.
them here. So you're trying to build a winning culture at any means necessary. And the biggest thing is they did not let off the gas pedal.
No.
Because had they let off that gas pedal, who knows what this game could have turned out to be. 21 points in a blowout is still a lot of points
Yeah.
when you look at it there. So they decided, they said, you know what, we're gonna keep this throttle going here, and they throttled so hard, the head coach and the GM both got told don't show
don't
up to work the
don't
next
bother
day.
coming back.
That's how crazy it
Yeah, and
was.
I said Jacoby Myers earlier. I'm sorry, I meant Trey Tucker. But Trey Tucker had two TDs, um, one long TD, and they were just out there. I guess the one thing I'm surprised about is the fact that we're watching Aiden O'Connell kind of come into his own a little bit. This was obviously the best game of his season. 248 yards, 4 touchdowns, didn't turn the ball over. And so, there might be some upside worth considering with this kid. However, we got to wait till we get to the offseason and
Yeah,
see what other quarterback options are available for the Raiders to know if O'Connell has a chance. But what I will say is Aiden O'Connell definitely, even if he doesn't start for the Raiders next year, he's definitely putting his worth in to stay in the league. He'll be a backup with the Raiders maybe if they decide to get someone else. But overall, good game. Devontae Adams, 8 receptions, 101 yards, 1 TD. Zamir White showed up with Josh Jacobs out, had 69 yards, 4 yards a carry. So their offense was humming, and the Chargers gave them plenty of opportunities to get the ball back and get into the end zone, and the Raiders took advantage of it. So kudos.
let me let me ask you this. So obviously, it looks like Aiden O'Connell could potentially be the starting quarterback for the future. Obviously, he's going to finish out the rest of the season, but I think he's going to earn the shot to compete for the starting position next year. Um, what do you think about Zamir White and John Jacobs competing for that RB1? I mean, at this
Yeah.
point, I think Zamir White should go back to being RB1
Well,
over Josh Jacobs
Well,
here.
if you look around the league, there are very few teams that have one running back that's taken 100% of the snaps anyway. So I think this does open up the conversation for, hey, you got to get Zamir White some more snaps. You got to get him some more carries. So yeah,
Yep.
I don't know if they split it 50-50 or what they decide to do. But at this point in the season, when you kind of know you're not making the playoffs, this is the perfect opportunity to find out how good are some of these young players. So I think Zamir White should see a little bit more action these next couple of weeks as we round out the season, because you got to know what you got. You drafted the guy, you got to know if he was worth the draft pick, and this is a good opportunity to do that.
Absolutely here. So I mean, look, three more weeks of the football season to end on a good note here. Have to and see where this is going to take you leading into the offseason.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so let's move on to another Bay. Well, they're not Bay Area anymore. See, like, I'm losing my mind here. To the
Hey man,
49ers. The San Francisco 49ers, they are ahead of the pack in the NFC, and they're playing against an old rival. I don't even know if you call it a rival, but they're playing against the Arizona Cardinals. Well, although I will say the Cardinals did put up a fight, kept it close throughout most of the game. In the end, at least from what I saw, it was McCaffrey and then Deebo Samuels with the touchdown at the end to kind of close it out. I feel like the 49ers kind of sleepwalked through this game a little bit to start. And then after halftime, they got a little bit more serious. Yeah.
Man, Arizona went down, scored that first touchdown. Niners said, let us respond right back with you real quick here.
Yep.
And that first touchdown on the Niners was basically how the rest of the game went, with too many wide open. I mean, Christian McCaffrey caught a ball in the second half.
Saw that.
He fell down, and not one defender was near him.
Got up.
He could have walked right into the end zone. You know what I'm saying?
He could have got up, got some ate a couple of pieces of popcorn, dusted his hands off real quick.
Check it out. The Niners defense was missing Armstead, Hargrave, and Burke, some of their top defensive guys, and they still dominated on the defensive end of the ball here.
Right.
You know, this is how good this team is right now. I thought it would be a trap game. You're going into a place where you're playing a team that has nothing to lose pretty much here, and Kyler Murray was starting to play a little bit of good football. But on top of that, they can rest and look forward to this big Monday night showdown against the Ravens on Christmas Day. They got through a really easy game here, and so now it's just guys who are going to be able to rest up. Brock Purdy got absolutely mollywopped on a little dunk pass. He damn near got clotheslined off the top.
Yeah, I saw that.
Ropes.
He got a jumping arm bar across the top of his head, and he was slow to get up. I was worried there for a minute.
Sure
I thought it was one of those.
I thought it was a concussion.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, this is the worst possible time to go into concussion protocol. But hey, man, he seemed to be okay. Got up, handled business, and finished out the game. So it doesn't look like there will be any issues with him next week. So the Niners are good to go.
Here and Drunk chiming in, man. Drunk, happy holidays, brother.
Drunk?
Good to see you back in the show. Says, I'm mad McCaffrey tied a Marshall Faulk record. That's right, because he is a St. Louis Rams native there. We're going to be talking about the NFL MVP coming up here. But, man, Christian McCaffrey's having probably one of the best seasons a running back can have here. And this offense was made perfect for him. The offense really looks like something straight out of what he ran at Stanford, where they're just using him in every aspect. But he is staying healthy, which is the biggest key in such a physical offensive standpoint there. So you got to give it up to McCaffrey, man. He's one of the dying breeds of running backs that has to get the ball in order for the offense to move, because nowadays running backs aren't really offensive go-getter when it comes to it, and he's helping that offense really move.
Yeah, well, he's one of the few guys in the league that can do that, that can catch the ball, that can run the ball. That's why Marshall Faulk's name comes up, is because Marshall was able to do it all with the greatest show on turf, and we're starting to see definitely starting to see McCaffrey shine, and I think the trade for McCaffrey, I don't even know if the Niners knew that he would have been this good. So, yeah, kudos to the Niners for making that happen. And Doe's having himself a remarkable season. And depending upon how they play in the playoffs, these are those opportunities in years where you can cement yourself in the eyes of all of your fans and the eyes of everybody as being a Hall of Fame player. That's what we're looking at right now. So we'll see how long you can continue to do it. But this is one of those years where you can kind of stake that claim and really put your flag in and say, yeah, no, I'm really that good.
Yep. And Drunk also I was never a McCaffrey fan, but he's a monster, bruh. Look, man, when he's on the field, he's the first guy you're looking for. It's making Deebo Samuel's life a lot easier because Deebo was playing that role, and now you have McCaffrey, who you really need to make sure where he's at all times on the field, because the next thing you know, he could be having a 60-yard touchdown.
Yep.
On you real quick here. So he's a guy you really need to make sure you account for on the field.
Absolutely. Oh, man. And then, so let's move on to this. we had Dallas, we had the Cowboys and the Bills circled as a game for us to look out for, based on the fact that both these teams are pretty good. Buffalo is struggling, but got back into shape after firing their offensive coordinator and have started to make strides to look. They look like they're right there in the thick of things as far as a wild card berth. And then you've got the Dallas Cowboys, who really had an opportunity with 3 losses to take over the NFC East, one of the more difficult divisions. And well, I don't know what happened. They didn't show up. At the end of the day, the Cowboys had an opportunity to cement themselves, to put themselves at the top of the NFC heap, or at least near the top of the NFC heap. And instead, what they did was they went back to being mediocre. I don't know what happened. I thought it was a tough game to watch. They couldn't get anything going offensively. They were getting ran all over. I mean, the Bills didn't even throw the ball that much hardly. All they had to do was run the ball. And against what we thought was one of the better defenses in the NFL, but it didn't look like it today.
Dude, I have no idea what happened with the Cowboys today. I mean, you go from shellacking the Eagles, who were the best team at the time in the NFC East, to throwing up a garbage of a game in the AFC East against the Bills. I don't know what it is with weather, Buffalo, and teams going there, but everyone just forgets how to play football the minute they have to go to Buffalo in December.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like
it's cold, man.
It's unreal.
It's cold.
Here we are a week ago talking about Dak Prescott potentially being there for the MVP, and now he just literally played himself the MVP. These are the type of games that help define whether you are going to win the MVP or not, and he was nowhere to be found. 10 points today, it's not going to cut it.
Yeah, and such a high octane offense with CeeDee Lamb, and you just, I don't know, man. This is the thing. This is one of the things that the Cowboys have suffered from for quite some time, is they've never been able to show up when it matters, and that's why anytime they've been in the playoffs, they've been bounced out right away. And so I just wonder if this is the same thing. If the Cowboys are going to get into that first round and end up and lose out. They need home field advantage throughout the playoffs if they ever want to get anywhere near the NFC Championship game. It looks like, because if they're going to be on the road, it probably ain't going to happen for them. Just to back you up, Dak went 21 for 34 for 134 yards and 1 interception.
Can't do that, man.
But here's the even crazier stat. Josh Allen went 7 for 15, only threw the ball 15 times, 94 yards and 1 touchdown. And do you know why? Because they ran the ball for over 200 and almost, I think, what is this? About 200 and close to 250 yards, 266 yards rushing.
Dude, James Cook is on my fantasy team. Waiting for him to have a breakout game, and Lord and behold, I have a bye week, and he goes doing this. It's like, yo, what the hell, man? I've been waiting for this here.
Yeah, man. So,
yeah, man. Let's get a little caught up in the chat here. We got a lot going on. We got a lot of people in here too. Drunk with, I was so ready for that game, thinking I would get digs on digs. Forgetting Trayvon was out for the season. Honestly, we wouldn't have had that digs on digs matchup because Buffalo said, you guys can't stop the run. We're just
exactly
run the ball, tire you guys out. And Bobby, our Call of Duty buddy here says, Dak's whack. That's why. LOL.
Yeah.
Yeah, CMC MVP over Brock. We're going to talk about that MVP conversation shortly. Timothy Bender, welcome to the chat. Love you. Drunk with James with the Cook. James Cook with the breakout game, and I think that's what the Bills have really been waiting for. I'm surprised they haven't even tried to go out and get a running back since he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And Bobby's saying, "Oh, Timmy being gay again." Yeah, that's our Timmy for us. Always doing that. We love you, Timmy. Don't worry. We have nothing but love for you.
No idea.
But in any case, let's talk MVP. It is December here. I think we had 2 clear-cut favorites before this Sunday, and now I think there's only 1 clear-cut favorite, but a dark horse being in it as well. Earlier this week, there was a lot of talk between Dak Prescott and Brock Purdy to win the MVP, right? Now, there are guys who are being forgotten in the MVP talk with CMC, with Hill, MVP even should even a position player be considered for it, knowing that credit and love goes to the quarterback. At the same time, all the blame and disappointment will also go to the quarterback as well. So T, after watching this here, Dak and Purdy, obviously we're getting most of the love here. Who do you see as probably winning this MVP award?
Man, I don't know. I mean, generally it does go to a quarterback. I mean, Dak could turn this around and have two really good games the last couple of games of the season and help put some more, some more effort or votes behind his name. Purdy's been playing well pretty much the entire season outside of a handful of maybe 2 or 3 games. But, folks will point to McCaffrey as part of why their offense is as good as it is. So I don't know if I could call him the most valuable player on that team necessarily. I don't. I want to give it to Tyreek Hill, man. Honestly, I just I don't know if there are any. If when we talk about Dak and Purdy, I don't know if there's another player in the league that is touchdown. And when I say touchdown, I mean like when the ball hits his hands, like he could take any play. It could be a touchdown. I feel like, dude, the impact that he's had on Miami, the impact that he's had on Tua, the fact that he can outrun anybody. And if you watch Tyree play, it's not just that he's not just like Randy Moss. Randy Moss just outrun everybody. Tyreek's making difficult passes over the middle of the field. He's getting hit. He's making plays. I mean, the guy is all over the place. And so I think you got to really consider it. If he continues to, with the numbers he's had, if he gets anywhere near 2,000 yards receiving, given the amount of touchdown TDs he has on this season, I think maybe there's an outside opportunity for a like you said, a position player, not a quarterback, to win this award. So, I'm all for something new, man. I mean, they could give it to Purdy, but like I said, Christian McCaffrey is having a great year. I mean, you can't just say he's the best player whenever you got a guy that good sitting next to you.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I would really say Brock Purdy is kind of earning that conversation of winning it. Now, the passes that he made today, you can see the touch on it. His accuracy is unbelievable. Now, at any point, the quarterback still has to make the throw.
Yeah.
No matter the talent, no matter that. Now, does he have a lot of skilled players around him? Absolutely, but that wasn't Brock Purdy's decision. That's the front office saying we're going to put the best team on the field out there for us, and this is and the Niners are showing that this is the best team here. Brock Purdy, in my eyes, I've been critical about him all year because he's playing on the best team, so he's got to wear that treatment. But he's handled it very well. After a 3-game loss, the team is back on a 6-game winning streak, and so he is helped generating a lot of that offense by putting the ball right. You see when a lot of receivers are in motion or on the run, he is hitting them while they are in stride. A lot of the times, wide receivers aren't having to reach behind them or stop their route to go get the ball. They are still in stride, and that's why you're seeing a lot of these big plays break out for Brock Purdy, is because he's keeping the receiver in motion as he puts the ball on them. So you got to. I think Brock Purdy may end up winning it, but the league can't still excuse the fact that there's still Tyreek Hill, there's still Christian McCaffrey. There are still skilled position players that have to be really considered for this award and not really focused on a quarterback award. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and just to back that up, as far as Purdy and his numbers this season, he's 3,795 yards, basically 10 yards in attempt, 69% completion percentage, 29 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Ranked number 2, stat wise. Do you know who's number 1?
Who's that?
Tua.
No, you're right.
That's why Tyreek Hill should be the winner, because he is literally. We're not even talking about. I'm just saying we're not even talking about Tua. Tua's not even in the conversation for MVP. But if you look at the stats, his numbers are at the very top. He has a better completion percentage. He doesn't have as many touchdowns. Has a couple more interceptions. but he's thrown the ball significantly more, and his number one target is eating up a lot of those yards. So that's why I'm saying, man, I think Tyreek Hill deserves a nod because he's doing this on a team where he's elevating everyone around him. And I know you're right. The quarterback has to throw the guy the ball. You're right. But I don't know. I feel like if his quarterback is not even in discussion, but he's at the top of the list, I think I don't know. I feel like he's it looks like he's elevating the quarterback. And then, and you know me, I think of terms in basketball. You know how it is. When you got two great players on one team, you can't give the MVP to one because the other guy's next to him. You know what I mean? That's how I always think about things.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
if we're gonna say yeah, Brock Purdy's great, he did good, but there's a quarterback that has more yardage than him and a better quarterback completion percentage, throwing the ball almost 150 times more than he has, and he's not even in discussion. That means Tyreek Hill is a darn good player. That's what that means. So
I mean, you're right. You know, that's a captivating argument you just put up there, T. I think the NFL's got to listen to that, and some of the voters got to really take a look into that. I think you may be onto something there, sir.
yeah, well, I'm just saying.
He's just spitting the facts.
Exactly.
Let's get a little caught up here in the chat. Bobby going, Brian, you better get on tonight with us. Timmy and Bobby, I will be on Call of Duty tonight. Been a little MIA for the last couple of days, but I will be on tonight for you guys. Samuel Thompson, welcome to the chat. Did I miss the convo about the Lions dismantling the Broncos on Saturday night? You haven't missed it yet because we haven't talked about it yet. I know you really enjoyed watching Russell Wilson absolutely struggle on Saturday night against the Detroit Lions.
Well, I'll tell you what I enjoyed. I enjoyed Jared Goff putting up 30 points in my fantasy team. That's what I enjoyed. I had Jared Goff and St. Brown on my team, and they both showed up for me. So, yeah, I think the Detroit, they had to win this game. I mean, they've been struggling the past couple of games, and they're right there in a position to host a playoff game. And they started to get to the point where you were really starting to wonder, is Jared Goff really is he the guy? He started to get a little panicky and throwing interceptions, and you know, it really was a little uncertain. Even the beginning of that game, but he turned it around, and yeah, man, it wasn't even close. They dogged him out.
This is the second straight week that Sean Payton has had to lay into Russell Wilson with some of the throws that he is making. Did you see that? Did you see that blow up on the sideline?
No, dude, I did.
He was all up.
I didn't see the blow up, but I can tell you this: Russell Wilson has been trash ever since he signed that contract. Ever since he got that $200-some million, and he can't stop getting Ciara pregnant and all this other stuff. It's just. The man is not. He's not the same quarterback, and I'm not trying to blame any of those other things. I just think that at this stage in his career, we have to remember he is a veteran. He's been around for a long time. He doesn't have the best team around him at this point. Although they've been playing better, they're not the best. And Russell Wilson, he's got the same problems he had when he was in Seattle. The guy holds the ball forever. Yep. We all know that.
Yep.
It's just he's not as fast as he used to be. So you combine those two things, and you get a guy that's going to end up on his butt or trying to throw the ball under duress a majority of the time.
So, ask you this: the Lions obviously have been a team that hasn't really been talked about. They're 9-4 right now, right? A lot of chatter hasn't really surrounded the Lions. Are they one of those teams that is just an absolute dark horse that teams in the NFC, like the Niners and Eagles, need to be aware of come playoff time?
Yeah, you know what? They've been so inconsistent. It's tough for me to see them beating a team like the Eagles or the 49ers. They've also had, much like the Cowboys, they've had ups and downs. However, I could see a scenario where they're hosting a game against the Cowboys and beat them. Oh yeah, for sure. And I think they definitely have an opportunity to host a game and win it out of the first round. Now after that, I don't think they get much. I don't think that they make it much further. But they're definitely a team that can get out of that first round and maybe make some noise against one of those top teams. I just don't know with Jared Goff again, which one are we going to see? And if you put pressure on them, and we're talking about two teams that pressure the ball like no other, the 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles, if they start getting after this guy, can he really win the game? can he really beat that team? Can Jared Goff beat those defenses? And I don't think so, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough task ahead of them. Let's get a little more caught up. Sam was at the game on Saturday night in a
Oh,
suite, and he absolutely loved it. Hey, man, you gotta tell us what kind of food y'all had in the suite there, because
yeah, let me
certain
know.
stadiums do it differently. Hey, let us know in the chat, man, what kind of food they provide in the suites in Detroit here. Gibbs and Laporta are looking special. I think Laporta has been a great addition to the Lions here at the tight end position here, and that's what it comes down to is that security blanket. Look at the Ravens losing Mark Andrews. They really don't have it anymore. They're relying on the guy by the name of Likely to be that security blanket for Lamar. But Laporta is showing something special
Yeah,
here.
3 TDs. Yeah, I believe.
Mentioned
Yeah, three
I
touchdowns,
love
man.
Sean Payton. Sean Payton ripping into Russell Wilson was loved by Bobby here. And then he goes, "New tat. Is it a picture of me? Sir, there is no part of my body that will be earning a picture of you. We will strictly be Call of Duty teammates." Goff is
Oh
not
man.
that guy. But don't forget, everyone, Jared Goff led a Rams team to a Super Bowl and almost won that Super Bowl against the Patriots. So he still has that veteran presence in him. It's just it hasn't been challenged in a very long time, playing in a pretty bad, playing on a bad Rams team at the time. So who knows if this comes out of him? We may get Super Bowl Goff, and that was a pretty good Super Bowl quarterback at the time.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. We'll see if they can do something this year. But if you're anywhere in and around Detroit, I mean, it's got to be a great situation to see the Lions in
Mm-hmm.
contention because it's been quite some time. Matthew Stafford couldn't, as great as we thought he was, him and Megatron, they barely cracked the playoffs from year to year. So, um, yeah, it's good to see
And
some good
then,
teams.
hey, so check it out. The food inside the suite: wings, pizza, nachos, and they had a dessert cart with
That
tons of
sounds
audio
good,
there.
man.
I'm down with that.
I'm
Then I
down.
mean, especially when it's all you can eat too. You've got to let us know. Did they have unlimited beverages inside of the suite too? Because I know some teams don't really like that there. Um, but as he gives us those answers there, Pick'em Dummies, dude, was not good for both of us
Yeah, we
this week.
sucked.
We
We were
struggled
dummies.
big
Just
time.
dummies this time.
We were pure idiots to say the least here. Taj, you went 1-2.
Whew.
The Lions -4.5
Got
covered
it.
for you. The Jets +9
Yeah.
did not want to score a single point
Don't
today.
even know what I was thinking.
And then the Vikings that game away. You had them on the money line, and they lost to the Cincinnati Bengals
They
here.
sure did.
I, on the other hand, was an absolute fool of myself for even picking the Cowboys and the Cardinals. Cardinals were +12.5. It was looking good at first. I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh man, the Cardinals may sit there and cover this spread. Nope. Yep, they decided to blow the cover off the spread and not get close to it. Cowboys plus one and a
We talked
half,
about it.
only scored 10 points. Yep, that was done. But the Colts gave me a win, -1.5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers and dominated that game. Gardner Minshew, man, look out for Gardner Minshew. Minshew Mania is back
Gar-
at it again, and the Colts
wait,
are the Colts are in a
wait. Can
playoff
you
hunt.
say it? What's his first name?
Gardner.
Garden Minshew? God dang. This sounds like some type of weird garden gnome or something. Like something you put out in your yard, doesn't it? I don't know. Anyway.
It sounds like mulch, the garden mulch, like
Mulch.
Minshew mulch. You know what I'm saying?
Garden Minshew to $5.99
Oh
a
man.
pound. All right, well let's move on to fantasy football. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
First off,
Oh
I,
man.
I I suck. I'm gonna start there. I am in the dumpster of all dumpsters. I'm at the bottom of the heat. I am in a first round in a matchup to determine who is the worst player. Thankfully, I'm winning at this point. However, my opponent still has two more players to play: Jalen Hurts and Metcalf. So I've got a sizable lead, but I don't know, man. I'm hoping for the best.
Hey man, I'm hoping for you too because the winner of this league will determine the losers, the last place losers punishment, and we are partners, but man, I hate to deliver a fantasy football punishment to you. So,
Did you
um,
just proclaim
that's
yourself the winner? Is that what just happened right now?
I'm just
Is
saying
that what you did? Did you just
if
say you
I
won?
win, if I win this league, I
Now there's
it would
ifs.
it would hurt me.
Okay, well,
It would hurt me to
you
punish
know
you, man. It would absolutely kill me to do that.
it's
Um,
Gardner, not Garden. Damn it,
well,
Brian.
whatever, man.
It's well that doesn't make it any better. I get Gardner Minshew also sounds like a gardening product, so we're gonna stick with that
Hey,
joke.
regardless, it's Minshew mania. That's what we're really focused on there.
And that was the comment. That
You
comment
act
was by Rachel. Thank you, Rachel, for correcting your family member over here. And yes, that's right, Rachel. He is acting as though he has already won, even though it's a playoff. He has crowned himself apparently, and has decided that he will be handing out the punishment this year. All right, interesting.
this would have been the perfect week for me to lose because I had Tyreek Hill who was out. I didn't mess with my lineup at all, and man, I think I've only scored like 116 points
Brian,
today.
just
This would have been the
yeah,
perfect week.
okay,
It would
all
have been
right.
the perfect week.
Well, we'll
Um,
keep you all posted as we get through the playoffs here, and then we got Bobby chiming in with, yeah, Gardner, yeah, dumb. Oh man,
hey, take that back, Rose. I'm not getting on the game tonight. Take it back, sir.
hey, you gotta give me your gamer tag, B man, so I gotta,
I gotta get it to
yeah,
you
I know,
offline, man.
yeah.
I'm not saying it out.
Oh
My
my
sister's
gosh.
my sister's probably gonna call me out on my gamer tag
Oh
there.
god. All right. Well, folks, let's transition.
Jeez.
Let's transition into probably one of the bigger topics we're going to cover for this evening, and it centers around the NBA and none other than Warriors' favorite player, Draymond Green.
Fan favorite, y'all. Fan favorite.
So I'm going to set it up, B. I don't know if y'all got a chance to see, but Draymond in a game against the Phoenix Suns. It was the Suns. I apparently was upset that Nurkic had his arm on the right side of his hip and made him so mad that he went into a weird epileptic type seizure thing, spun around 360 poltergeist style, and just knocked the crap out of him right upside Nurkic's head. Just knocked him, hit him directly in
He's
the head.
knocked his ass out.
And Nurkic was on the ground. Draymond immediately after is like looking the refs, hoping for a call because somebody pulled on his shirt. And the refs are like, "My man, you just slapped the dude in the middle of the court. Why would we care?" So I'm gonna start out by asking this question: Is Draymond a viable player on the Warriors squad? Is he still a viable player on this team?
Before the suspension, yes.
Okay.
Dude, he anchors the defense for the Warriors. We're not asking him to do anything offensively for us, but he also has a say in how that offense moves because he is a very pass heavy guy. He knows exactly where everyone's supposed to be. That is the brain of Draymond. But if you talk about after this little spinneroonie backhand, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a no. He is asking to be pulled away from basketball for the rest of his career. Look, as a Warrior fan, when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, this dude suspended." Like that wasn't even. I wasn't even upset. Like, why am I not shocked that he allowed someone to pull on his jersey and react the way he did, where he had to do a spinning back fist? There was no need for it, dude. Players are tugging on jerseys all the time.
Yeah.
You don't see Steph Curry giving backhands, and that dude's jersey gets pulled
Yeah.
every single time. You know what I'm saying? And he just fights through it. Draymond, on the other hand, dude, this is coming off of 2 weeks after being suspended for 5 games for choke for putting. Dude, Draymond needs to stop playing basketball. Go join the WWE, man. Because in 2 weeks you have choked somebody out, and you also have given somebody a spinning backhand as well. So at this point, you shouldn't even be playing basketball anymore. I mean, look at Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman eventually had a wrestling career, with Karl Malone, and those two were fighting on the court with each other all the damn time. You
Yeah,
know?
and I guess one thing to keep in mind here is that the Warriors are not in a position where they can afford this behavior like
No.
they did before. Now, in the past, Klay Thompson and Sturry were playing so well offensively that the three-pointers were covering up everything. Okay, everything.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
Klay is a shell of himself. Steph Curry's backpack is too heavy for him to drag around every game. And you just don't have the same margin for error. And here Draymond is an important cog in their system, I will say. But he can't stay on the floor. He's not going to be much help to the Warriors, especially not this season when they're 11-14 right now. You're not going to sit up and be like, oh well, it's Dre being Dre, and you're 5 games under 500. I'm sorry. When your team becomes a team that is not in competition for the playoffs or in playoff, what is it, play-in tournament competition, there's no room for it. So I just think that takes away from the team, and I think it takes away from the morale of the team. I think this is a problem for not only Klay Thompson but Steph Curry and everybody else, because it's not just the Klay. It's the fact that Draymond can't stay on the floor and is doing all this outlandish crap. Then you got Klay Thompson, who's a shell of himself, who doesn't know if he's going to get paid next year or not. You got Andrew Wiggins, who ever since his mysterious
Jesus.
family situation at the end of last season hasn't been the same guy at all. I don't know what happened to him.
No.
PG2 can't stay on the court to save his life, and that's been happening for the past two.
PG3.
PG3, sorry, not two. PG3 can't stay on the court for the past 3 years. And you got Chris Paul, who also cannot stay on the court for the last 3 years. So yeah, man.
The league is obviously suspending him indefinitely, but that still doesn't mean that Draymond's still going to serve game suspensions. Suspended indefinitely means he's got some stuff to work out. Ja Morant was suspended indefinitely and then proceeded to serve a 9-game suspension right after that. The NBA is really going to harp on it. And, they're making this big case about he's got to take care of himself. Now it's about Draymond inside of his head. But you made a good point. This Draymond has not changed. The only thing that hid this Draymond were 4 championships and the way Steph Curry was shooting the ball. When winning happens, no one talks about it. But the problem is they're not winning. This team is blowing games left and right, and then you've got a guy who's been suspended for 12 games. Only 24 games have been played. He's been on court for half the season so far. And now he's going to be off the court longer because he's got to work on himself here. And what drives me nuts out of all of this here is the fact that Steph Curry's leadership is being put into question on managing him. Steph Curry can't be babysitting Draymond Green. He's got to carry the rest of the team on his backpack because of Draymond.
Yeah.
And so for him, you can only hold somebody accountable for so long until you can't do nothing about it. And now I'm sure Draymond and Steph are having talks off the court. They're having phone calls. They are still tight with each other. But Steph Curry is not going to sit there and get up in Draymond's face and tell him, you got to stop what you're doing. He can't stop that.
Look, let's call it like it is. It's not Steph Curry's responsibility. It's the responsibility of the general manager and the coach of the Warriors. They've allowed this behavior for quite some time now.
Yes, they have.
They've allowed him to go off. He's even gotten to situations with other players on the team before, even Steve Kerr himself. This is not unusual for this team. They've been doing this for a while. Steve Kerr has not liked dealing with Draymond Green for years now. And they haven't done anything to address a lot of these situations because they were winning. They were winning. So that covers up a lot. Winning is the best deodorant, I think is the quote. And so that winning, now they're not winning as many games. You're starting to see the wheels come off on some of the the key components of their team, such as Klay Thompson, now Draymond. Wiggins is not looking like the same guy. And now it's time to start looking around. And I strongly believe, and I said this on the last show, which is I think Dunleavy has to come in hard. They have to make some big changes. Otherwise,
They
this
do.
team is just going to dry up and rot. You've got to get some new blood in there. You've got to get something to re-energize this team and to reinvigorate the fans, Steph Curry, and whoever else is on the roster.
And Dunleavy's had a lot to deal with
Yeah,
already. He first thing he had to do was get rid of Jordan Poole.
yeah,
He,
yeah.
that was his biggest thing in the offseason. And now he's got to deal with an in-season crisis with a gentleman by the name of Draymond and trying to figure out how to keep this team competitive to win championships because Steph Curry is still showing he's got about 3 years of prime basketball left in him. But the problem is the guys around him right now do not match that effort that he is putting out here. Now, Klay Thompson's had a couple good games back to back, but again, the centerpiece around everything is and was Draymond
Yeah.
because he anchored the defense and he got guys open on the offensive end because he's not looking to score.
Right.
And now who do you rely with Draymond being out to help anchor getting guys shots? You can't have Chris Paul on the court every single minute because he's old, and two, he's going to get hurt.
Right.
So that's why Draymond was a valuable piece, and now he's not. So now you have to find a way to substitute all of that there.
So, folks, I gotta do this, man. I'm going to the chat right now, and what we're looking at in the chat, this is hilarious. Okay, I'm not gonna say the name, but B man, your mom chimes in with "Hello, boys, happy Sunday." And then your boy Bobby comes in at the very next message with your gamer tag. That's just. I couldn't have set that up any better. Thank you, Bobby. I'm so sorry, Mama Lay, that you saw that.
Yo, Bobby.
There's no. Just so. Why you do that, man? I mean, did you not see his mom chat before you got there? What happened, man? That was terrible. Oh my god! I'm sorry. I'm gonna break up the entire conversation, but I'm sorry. That was terrible, man.
Yo, that is
awful. Oh,
damn it, Bobby! That was too damn funny right there. I'm gonna get you back later tonight, Bobby.
Hey, you ain't getting revived. You ain't getting rezzed or revived at all next time y'all play Call of Duty. Oh,
yeah,
man.
he will sit there and bleed out all night tonight. That sounds terrible.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Damn it, Bobby. I did not read that comment at all. Look at the emoji. Oh damn. That was a good one.
Oh man. Oh my god.
Anyways.
All right, well, back to Draymond.
So look,
who also has an affinity for nuts since he's done quite a couple of backhands and kicks. Anyway, yeah, oh my gosh.
How do we recover from this?
I don't know.
Steer the ship.
I'm gonna steer
the ship.
Wrap that bad boy up on the bowl and let's put that away for now. So getting back to Draymond, now that Draymond's in this situation where it's a personal problem and he's more than likely to miss a good number of games, you really have to, especially with the trade deadline coming up. Does this affect the Warriors' capability of making any plays in the trade deadline? By the trade deadline, you think going into February, if Draymond misses, let's say, another 10 to 15 games?
I say right now, the young players are auditioning.
True that, yeah.
To be traded pretty much here. I've talked about it and I still will say it. Kuminga is their highest trade value. You can't lose a guy like Moody, who is starting to develop into a two-way player that used to be Klay Thompson. He's still a little slow on the defensive end, but man, that hustle that he shows on both ends of the court, you can't get anywhere else. So I think Moody may be the one that stays, but I think Kuminga will be your highest trade value just because of the raw natural talent that he had. Right. And honestly, this may be the end of Klay Thompson's career as a Golden State Warrior as well, because they have not found a way to get the contract dealt with, and they still need to pay Steve Kerr. and the Warriors don't have money.
Yeah. Man,
That's
they
just
got money. They
another
just
fact
they're
there.
you guys are cap strapped. You cap strapped. And I get that.
We're cap shop a lot.
Yeah.
But if there's two players that are going to give you the highest trade value, those are it right there. Those are
Yeah.
clearly it, and you use that to leverage what you could get to help sustain this. Because honestly, I'd rather see Moody starting in this lineup every game. He is honestly outplaying Klay Thompson, and it may not show point wise. It's the hustle. It's
Yeah,
the
defense,
willing
yeah.
to guard the team's best player. He was guarding James Harden in L.A. and he didn't do too bad of a job in my eyes watching that game. So I think they're starting to trust Moody with a lot more responsibility to take it away from Klay Thompson. So that just shows me that they may be gearing up for a trade that involves Klay, because that's just going to be too big of a contract to try to give an ailing player, to say the
Yeah,
least.
yeah. When you think about CP3, I mean, CP3 is good when he's there, but he's another guy that's kind of questionable health wise and probably can't keep throughout the season. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, do you look to also say, well, maybe we could try to flip that for somebody younger, or is there another point guard that we can find out there that could give us similar type of output? Like, I don't know, man. And don't come calling
Well,
for D'Lo because we not trading. I don't think the Lakers gonna trade him
nah.
as well.
So you bring that up, but that just brings up the question: Are you, if you were to get rid of CP3, do you trust the rookie Pajemski? Because
Yeah,
that's what it's going to come down to.
yeah.
And he is actually
He's playing
playing
pretty
some
well.
really good
Yeah.
basketball.
I,
So are the Warriors willing to take that risk in a championship or bust season to get rid of a veteran, to bring in maybe another bench player, but saying, Pajemski, you've shown us what you can do. Now you got to run the second unit, because that's what they're going to ask him to do.
yeah, and I think my issue with CP3 is the fact that he's not going to stay healthy. And I don't know if there's a situation. At least in my experience, the past 3 years, he's been injured most, especially in and around the playoffs. So when it comes to him finishing out seasons, he's had difficulty doing that. He's an older player. And the Warriors, with their record, they're not in the position to say, "Hey, Chris Paul, you're only going to play 25 minutes." Like, they're not necessarily in that play. They may have to play a lot more because they need to win these games. And so I don't know. I guess the Warriors really need to take a hard look at what were the areas they need to fill. They need to get bigger, right? They need to find some centers, right? They need to get bigger at the 4 spot if they can, especially if Draymond's not going to be playing very often. They need to find I'll give you an example. I can't think of the guy's name right now. From the Portland Trailblazers. Why can't I think of his name? I'm seeing him in my head.
The one from the Suns,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, he came over from
Aiden?
he came over from Detroit. They signed him from Detroit. I'm gonna find it in a
Oh,
second
yeah.
here. But you guys need a long, capable scoring guard. Three who can get in there and do what you want Wiggins to do as well. You guys can play a smaller lineup if you had 2 guys like that instead of just one. And maybe that's what Jeremy Grant. There you go. So a guy like Jeremy Grant, you could put into that slot and even play him with Wiggins or without. The way you could play that smaller lineup with guys that can score and can shoot, but guys that can also kind of turn around and defend as well. So there's some players out there to be had. Hopefully the Warriors make some moves, because last year they didn't make any moves. They made a move this offseason, but really all they ended up doing was
It wasn't
they just
loud.
brought in CP3, and I don't think that was enough. I think they need more than that. So I don't know how much changeover we'll see. Let's just put it this way: if Steph Curry was LeBron James, this entire roster would be turned over by the time we got to February.
Oh, dude, this thing would have been blown up real quick. To say this, you would have seen players gone quicker. But thank God Steph Curry's not that guy. And I'm not saying LeBron is the evil, but I mean, look, teams. If LeBron was acting as your coach and player, you're gonna listen to what this guy needs. Curry just runs with what he's got and hopes for the best. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of LeBron and your Lakers here, not a really good week.
I don't know
1
what
and
they're
2 on the
doing,
week.
man.
They lost to the
Stupid.
Spurs after beating the Spurs, and then actually competed with a really good Mavs team. Currently sitting 8th in the West, 3rd in the division, 15 and 11, so still over 500. Um, we're through a quarter point of the season. T. How are the Lakers expectation.
Well, first I'll start with they need to fire all of their health trainers and whoever else they have working on people. The Lakers can't stay healthy to save their lives. I expected Anthony Davis and LeBron to miss some games, but we haven't seen Gabe Vincent yet. He's played like one game, okay? The other night against the Spurs, they had D'Lo was hurt, Cam Reddish was hurt, AD was out. Jared Vanderbilt just came back like a week ago. I don't know what's going on with this team, man. They can't get enough bodies on the court to get things done. And they're one of the team. They're this team where they look good when they want to, but whenever it comes time to play some of these little in between games, they look pedestrian, especially on the offensive in the half court offense. They look terrible. AD has been a man on fire. He's been playing extremely well. But unfortunately, he missed the game, that second game against the Spurs. LeBron did play. I don't know why. He might as well have sat out that game too. He sat out the first game, and they got beat up, man. They cut the lead to like 5 at one point. I think 3 at one point, but they just didn't have enough. They didn't have enough offensive firepower to put them over the top. And without D'Lo, without AD. Cam Reddish has been pretty good defending. Again, I would say at 15-11, they're okay. They're okay.
Here's the worst part.
Yeah.
You guys haven't even found a roster that you can go to every single night
Not
because
yet.
of the amount of injuries that are piling up. Once everyone comes back healthy, there's still that break-in period where you have to find a rotation that's going to work best for you, especially coming off the bench.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only saving grace is we're early in the season. They're only 2 or 3 games back from the top 5. They really just have to find a way to get healthy. That's what this is about. The Lakers need to find a way to get these other players healthy and playing consistently, and that's going to help us out a good deal because we never really got a chance to figure out what our starting 5 and bench look like because we're really just trying to plug holes. So that's kind of what I think. That's kind of what I think. I think they're on the right path. They've shown that when they're playing at a high level, they can beat good teams. But as these regular in between regular season games go, they gotta find ways to get effort and energy out of other guys not named LeBron James and Anthony Davis. That's the struggle.
Yeah, and honestly, that got to come from Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
Coming off of a big contract year, and honestly, I don't think he's really played to that contract.
He's coming off the bench. He's coming off the bench now.
He's supposed to be a starter, and he's now coming off the bench. So he's got a lot to figure out as well. He's got to figure out how he could be that go-to guy for LeBron, because we all know LeBron needs a wing player who can knock down a big shot.
Yeah.
And Austin Reeves still has not found his
rhythm. He hit that shot against the Suns, man. I mean, he's got it in him.
Against the Suns.
He's got it in him. But it's
in order for this team to take off, you're looking for that consistency level. That's what you're missing from them.
Yeah. So I think man. I think I'm not over excited about what they're doing because they're not blowing the league away, but when they've shown that at their highest level they can play with anybody. It's just that throughout this regular season they have to find a way to be healthy and be consistent at some level.
Yo, Bobby's just being a menace. Bobby's just being a menace in the chat right now. I'm trying to time it correctly so that I'm taking a poop emoji while Brian is talking. I hope you get a head emoji through all of this.
Oh my gosh.
But let's talk about some other childish things here. So you and I saw this take place as we were getting ready for the show for the week. Giannis dropped 64 points, team record all time, right?
Yep.
Big accomplishment for Giannis, right? So the game comes to an end and the ball goes disappearing. And Giannis turned into the Hulk and was damn near ready to fight the entire Pacers team looking for this ball. He went after. He didn't go after. He had a yelling match with Tyrese Halliburton looking for the ball.
Yep.
He went running into the tunnel looking for this ball. He was trying to get into the Pacers locker room to look for this ball.
Sure
And you're
did.
wondering why the Pacers are being questioned. It's because the Pacers had a rookie who scored his first point in that game on a free throw, so they wanted to give him the game ball. In this video evidence, the Bucks team representative got on the court and took the ball for Giannis, and Giannis had no idea that even took place. So
Oh, that's not the story I got. See, okay. Here's what I heard, and this was backed up by Rick Carlisle too. What is? Yes, he did get the ball after the shot, but someone from the Pacers team came and took the ball from him, and then went off. So here, and I know a lot of folks were looking at the different videos, but it was confirmed because Carlisle, when asked about the game ball, he didn't say, "Oh, we didn't have it." No, here's what he said. He said, well, we got the ball because it was for one of our, for our rookie, because he scored his first point." So Rick Carlisle getting extra petty with the nonsense, okay, and is trying to give a game ball to a dude that scored 1 point, whose name is Shabubu Hockey Pocky. We don't know what his name is because nobody cares. Giannis just hit for 64. You got to give that man some respect and go give him the ball, Rick. This must have been the type of garbage that Luka was dealing with in Dallas. Maybe that's why they ran his butt up out of there. But that's super petty as a coach. And by the way, one more thing. By the way, everybody was on the Pacers' butt, on their nuts. Oh, the Pacers, they're so good, and Halliburton is so great, and and yeah. They beat the Celtics, they beat the Bucks, and then the Lakers crapped on their whole parade, destroyed them. Halliburton was wondering, do I even remember how to play basketball? And again, it was over, right? Butts got tight. I don't know why. It's the in-season tournament, and they lost. They got whooped. Now, all of a sudden, they're just a cute little team that can't find a way to win. Okay, so look, I understand, Rick. It hurts. I know it hurts to lose to the Lakers. We kicked your butt so many times. I remember you, but it doesn't matter. Let it go, my friend, and give Giannis the ball because Giannis looks like he has 20 elbows. Nobody wants to fight against him. I mean, he goes running in there like he's about to beat somebody up. Rick Carlisle's on the mic. He's saying, "Oh, well, one of my security guys got elbowed in the side. I hope he's okay." Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You did it to yourself, trying to take a ball. Seriously, come on, man.
Here's the best part, though. The NBA provides 3 game balls just in case something happens to the actual game ball. So technically, any game ball really would have mattered. We're arguing over a ball that was on the court. Yeah. That's what it's all about there. Given that kid, dude, it was one free throw. Just give him any damn game ball. You know what I'm saying? Like in Little League, they hand out 4 different baseballs for 4 different player of the games, right? You don't see the kids arguing that ball wasn't on the field. Yeah. Like they don't care. Yeah. Just give him a ball, dude. It's 64 points compared to one free throw.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
And this is the same team that also put a ladder on the court while Giannis was trying to do some post workout, and they wouldn't get rid of the ladder. Do you remember that?
I think I do. Yes. Pacers up to their old tricks.
I don't know if the Pacers are trying to play mind games with Giannis. And dude, this carried on further because the other night the Knicks and Suns were playing, and Brunson dropped a 50-piece all over the Suns on the road. Yeah. And Julius Randle proceeded to make sure he got the ball and guided it to Jalen Brunson, and they all had a chuckle about it. So, dude, y'all made a fool over a basketball. Yeah. Like literally, y'all were about to throw hands.
He was. Did you see Giannis running back there, dude?
Oh my God!
I would be scared. I would have been a 7-foot dude. That guy running down the, screaming in Greek. I don't know what the heck to make of that.
Screaming in Greek.
I'm ready to kill somebody, man.
He sure the hell was, man. He sure the hell was.
Oh my gosh.
Come on, but get together. Hey, real quick before we go to our last topic, are you going to watch the Lakers raise their in-season tournament banner?
Oh, man, they might as well use that as a paperweight.
the fact that it's even a thought that that's got to go
Eh,
into the rafters. I don't think any team wants to
We
win it
have
now.
17 championships, NBA championships, by the way. I don't need the I don't need the what do you call it, the hand towel of championships waving up there in the rafters. It's not necessary. If anything, they should take the little trophy and it can hold down Jeannie Buss's her, I don't know, hold down a napkin or something while she, for one of her martinis that she's drinking, because that's probably all that's going on these days. I don't think there's it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary. Now, if the league really wants to make it that big of a deal,
Oh,
put a patch on the jersey that says they won the in-season tournament or something. I don't know, but I don't think they need a banner.
ooh, that's even worse. Or how after winning the championship, your first home game when you get your rings, the players would wear a home jersey with the gold outline around it. They might
Yeah,
as well do that to the jersey and have it say in-season tournament champion.
yeah. I don't know,
Um,
man.
you
Doesn't
know who
look
would
good.
Enjoy that banner would be Sacramento. So then at least
Oh
it's an
yeah.
actual
Oh, you're
NBA
right.
banner,
You're
not
right.
no concert banner, not no
We
WNBA
we
banner.
won the Pacific
Y'all
Division. They got the Pacific Division banner.
nobody hang division banners up. They hang championship banners, the losers. Bobby says they knew what they were doing. Dude, the Pacers 100% were
Yeah.
inside of the minds of Giannis and the Bucks. And you know what? Before we move on, Giannis's brother needs to be kicked out of the league. That fool got all hyphy. Did you see that when his brother got taken down? Like he was going to get on the court and fight somebody. Like,
Yeah.
dude, man, you're only in the league because of the success of your brother.
Right.
He
Right.
has no NBA talent. The fact that he's holding up an NBA roster mind blows me.
Hey man. Hey.
Your brother can defend himself, man. That
Hey.
dude is ginormous.
Curry did
He got
it. Curry
himself.
did it for his brother-in-law. You know what I mean? Hey.
He did, but Curry's brother made sure he had a
Well,
successful
not his.
NBA
I'm talking about
career.
his brother-in-law. But okay, yeah, I get what you're
Well,
saying.
yeah,
But God,
but you see
that
what I'm
happens.
saying?
Yeah, I see.
They were like, "Oh, Giannis was like, that's my brother. Can he have an NBA jersey and sit at the end of the bench? He doesn't need to play." Like, dude, go fill that roster with somebody who can play to help your team
Oh
out.
man, no wonder Clinton Portis
Jeez
is so
Louise.
mad. I mean, like, what's his name? Bobby Portis, not Clinton Portis. Lord, jeez.
Dude, his eyeballs almost came out of his head. He looked like that one dude from the Guinness Book of World Records,
Yeah.
where his guy's eyes come out of his head.
Yeah. Boy, it'd be looking mad. I'm like, damn, boy, it would look like an actual Chicago Bull. Like Benny
Can
the
you
Bull.
imagine trying to fight Bobby Portis and then his fucking eyeballs come out and you're like, you know what,
Nah,
we
that's
good.
cool, bro.
I ain't trying to fight you.
I don't want you to hurt yourself. Oh man, so we're gonna get into our last topic, a topic that is near and dear to B's heart, one that stunned not only him but a lot of the entire world, since this is a worldwide move that was made by none other than his favorite team to hate, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Swooped in, and not only did they find a way to get Shohei Ohtani on a 10 year, $700 million
Dude, the contract
contract.
might as well be 700
Yeah.
years.
But they found a little hole in the contract, loophole that is, to make the lives of every Giant fan that much worse. B, talk about this, man. This is kind of a weird situation in baseball. What the hell? What's going on here?
We all know Shohei signed with the Dodgers for $700 million over a 10-year span, right? Now, that is a very lucrative contract. This is the highest contract to ever be paid to any athlete in any sport outside of Saudi Arabia, offering Messi $1 billion to go play there. The Dodgers then come out and say Shohei is going to earn $2 million a year. So they deferred the contract. Basically, they're taking a loan out. And what they're telling Shohei is, look, take $2 million a year so we can bring other players on because your contract's too much. At the end of your 10 years, then we'll pay you $68 million a year to enjoy your retirement. That's exactly what the Dodgers just did there.
That's
and it
crazy,
is
man.
a big problem in the MLB because you're allowing a team to basically take the best player in baseball, get him to agree to take $2 million a year, and then go out and sign some big name players as well. It's disgusting
Dude.
how this has transpired. And here's the worst part: the Giants offered Shohei the same amount of money, turned it down to go to the Dodgers so he can make $2 million for 10 years.
Hey man, okay. Here's my problem with it. Here's my problem. Apparently, one of the things that a part of the pitch that the Dodgers presented to Shohei was
Oh
a
yes,
Kobe Bryant interview that showed him talking about or hoping that Shohei would join the Los Angeles Dodgers. Hold on now. Don't be bringing Kobe into no conversations about Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers, and my man Kobe is gone. Okay, we don't need to be using his likeness, his to sign players. Man, that seems really lowbrow to me. And as a Kobe fan, and as a Lakers fan, that's a little cheap. You know what I mean? Why y'all gonna go bring Kobe, his image into this so that y'all could sign Shohei Ohtani? That's not necessary. That's not necessary.
did they even ask Vanessa Bryant if they're okay with showing that video?
They would have had to, because Vanessa has shown she will sue the pants off of anybody that even says Kobe's name without permission. Kudos to her. Kudos to her, because she been holding it down. Somebody say something. You said what about Kobe? Sue his ass. What did you do? Sue him. What you would not even the Nike contract. Nike was like, yeah,
yes.
did you want to redo the Nike contract? She said no. And then they came back and said, well, are you sure? He said, sure, but I'll do it for more. I was like, damn. So yeah, no, you can't say nothing about Kobe without her being involved. So, but I just didn't like the optics of that. Like that kind of, I didn't like how that felt. I didn't like that at all.
And that's again the local move. You're using publicity for again a famous athlete, one who's not around,
Yeah,
and y'all
right.
they benefited off of that to make sure that they got Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers there. So but the point of the fact is you are having the greatest baseball player in this sport right now, $2 million a year.
Yeah.
$2 million a year, dude. You know what that says about every team in baseball now? Oh, dude, we could sign a big name contract and ask them to take less
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
Why
If they're
why
willing to
would you
do it.
take $2 million a year? Are you that hungry for a championship? And what happens if the Dodgers don't have money to pay him for the rest of the year, or
I,
for those
look,
10 years?
I
You know what I'm
honestly, I
saying?
honestly think that the MLB has to take a strong look at their contract and make sure that they take out stupid loopholes or things like this that can impact competition. Baseball has struggled enough to pull itself into being relevant. Okay, the last thing you need is for situations like this where all of a sudden I can sign this big name player, pay him $2 million. Now I'm signing this guy. Now I'm signing that guy. Now I'm signing that guy. Whether we want to believe it or not, the Texas Rangers winning a championship is a huge deal. It's something. The state of Texas. Well, Houston won it too. But for that team to win it for their first time it was a huge deal in that area, and so you need to keep having different areas competing. You need to keep having different regions competing. I know it's beautiful to have New York and LA up there every time. The NBA tries to do it every season, but it doesn't always work. And one thing that's cool about the NBA is teams like the Warriors, who, although they were in a big market, were pretty much they operated as a small market team for almost 20,
Yep.
20 years. And then all of a sudden they elevate themselves to a level to where now they're being considered amongst the big names of as far as franchises in the room. So you want to continue to see that. And as storied as your franchises are, the young people don't really care about that so much anymore. So I think they got to just be careful, make sure that they don't allow too many more players to do this, and not give teams, a competitive advantage that have these huge salary caps, or not even salary caps, but huge amounts of money that they can throw around. Because now this is just getting stupid.
I mean, imagine the Lakers asking LeBron to take $2 million a year so they can sign
Well,
other
he's going to
players.
say no, but he
Exactly.
could, yeah, he could, but the league doesn't. The league doesn't. The NBA, you don't see a lot. You don't see very much of that at all. I don't know, man. It's kind
Yeah.
of crazy.
MLB's got to step in and kind of put a lock on that because this could be a trend for other teams to do that. That is just going to unlevel the playing field for everyone.
Yeah.
At this point here. So, you know, the last topic I wanted to get on before we cut out, and before I get on it, Bobby says, "Let the man rest in peace." You can only mention Kobe when you're shooting a wrinkled paper in the basket.
That's right.
Unfortunately, I yell out Curry. I again, because Kobe's from LA, we all know how I feel about that. So I'm not gonna be yelling it, but I will yell Curry. But he's right; most people do yell Kobe, including Dave Chappelle. But the last point I want to make is the Giants. Buster Posey, Giants Hall of Fame catcher, 3-time champion, was interviewed saying that the reason why the Giants cannot get players to commit to coming to San Francisco is because of the way this city is. And for those who don't live in the Bay Area, San Francisco is turning to one of the not so much of a tourist destination, to say the least. It's getting pretty ugly out there. A lot of break-ins, a lot of homeless, a lot of feces on the ground. It's the nature. It's basically a real-life Gotham City. I find that hard to believe when miles down the road there's a city named Atherton that is known for all the rich, wealthy people to live. You can't use the city of San Francisco as a scapegoat to not wanting to come and play. That's like saying guys don't want to go to Oakland because it's too rough for them over there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think it's a slap in the face to the city of San Francisco that needs to be well looked at because you got to take care of your city, but that's not the reason why players shouldn't be coming to an organization. Yeah. See, if you heard, you're an Oakland native here, you've seen your teams disappear, unfortunately. When you hear something like this, how does it make you feel when your city is being basically belittled about players wanting to come and play for you?
Oh, well, Oakland gets belittled all the time. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, a lot of what it was known for when I was growing up was that stupid homicide meter they would put on the news every freaking night.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, just as many or more homicides happened in San Francisco because there were more people. But it was easy to shine the light on the city of Oakland. So look, man, I totally get it. I don't think it's an excuse for a player not to come and play. I think San Francisco, even folks that are in San Francisco can live anywhere along the peninsula. If you're familiar with the area, The peninsula is not a cheap walk in the park. Neither is San Francisco. And San Francisco definitely has some challenges. It certainly has some financial challenges that it's trying to overcome. But ultimately, where Chase Center is and that whole area, dude, that's just, come on, it's right there on the water. There's all these $1 million condos all over there and high-end shopping. It's not like the hood or some crap like that. Okay? It's not like they playing at the Coliseum over there on Hagenberger. You know what I mean? With the gate, with the gate going over from the BART station. It ain't even that serious, man. And even when they were playing in Oakland, Curry was living in Orinda. There are beautiful places in the Bay Area where any of these players can live. And so it's just like New York. Like if you went to go play in New York, I'm pretty sure there are plenty of places in and around New York City that lots of big name players live in. That same thing with LA. You think every player that goes to LA lives in Los Angeles? Hell no. Most of them live in
a little city called Beverly Hills.
Yeah, well, Beverly Hills, or most of them, they live in Orange County. They live somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? So, it's I think that's just that might be a little bit overblown. And I think maybe Buster Posey has experienced a situation where he's been in the city so long that he's kind of maybe watched it deteriorate a little bit. Maybe he's letting that kind of, have an impact on his view. And I agree. Yeah, there are some things in the city. A lot of the shopping has gone away. Some of the tourist attractions and things like that, it's not the same anymore. But if that's keeping a guy from signing a contract, that I'm not too sure of. So we'll see, man. I don't know about that one, but it is what it is. It is what it is, I guess. There's a hood everywhere, folks. It's not like you can't go nowhere and find. There's no perfect place on earth.
There's a bad place anywhere.
No matter where you are.
Too, y'all just don't see
That's
it.
Right.
There are bad spots.
Exactly.
But I think that covers it for me, man.
Yeah.
You got anything else
before
we dip out of here?
No, that's all I got, man. And I'm just hoping to stay out of last place. and your Warriors have found a way to squander an entire 20-point lead, and the Portland Trail Blazers are now down by 4 points. Just to
shocking shocking development there. We want to shout out our viewers today who chimed in on the chat here. Mama Lay, good night, boys. Have a good night. Merry Christmas to everyone. May you have a happy and safe and healthy holiday.
You.
Bobby with his out of pocket comments. Love you, brother. Bobby's got a couple more. Texas Rangers won a World Series. Does that mean Dallas Cowboys are going to win now too? Wouldn't be shocked. Honestly, that's not happening this year. Yeah. Examples: Chiefs Super Bowl in Kansas City, Royals winning the shit. But when the Giants were winning World Series, the Niners didn't win the Super Bowl. So I don't think it's happening here. He goes, okay, I'll take my tinfoil hat off now. Good job till next time.
For sure.
Also, we got we had Rachel in here. We had Samuel. We had Timmy. Appreciate all you guys. Mike Dominguez, again, happy 40th birthday, man. Hope you're really enjoying it, man.
All right, folks. And with that, we out. We will see y'all next time. Again, if you know somebody you think you're enjoying the show, invite them on in. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that like button too.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays to everyone. We're not going to have a show next week. We'll be spending Christmas Eve with our loved ones here. So we want to enjoy the holiday just as much as you guys do. So we'll see you guys in the new year.
That's right. I will be Black Santa. All right. Well, you guys have a. If you want to know what he looks like, you're looking at him, baby. You're looking at him. So Merry Christmas to all of y'all. Y'all enjoy. Have fun being Santas yourselves. Enjoy your families. Make sure you hug your loved ones. Tell them you love them. And do all that other nice stuff. Drink some eggnog, okay? Or some Baileys or whatever it is you want. Get into it.
Enjoy it, people.
Until next time, y'all have a good one. We will see you guys. We'll see y'all on Friday. We'll see y'all Friday for Pick'em Dummies. All right. Peace.
Later.